Purposely. Your life, God's purpose. Listen at onpurposely.com.
If we're oversaturated with news and information, we may have lost the whole piece about worshiping and really see. It's easy to go, I don't see God at work, so we're focusing on the negative. So watch for that, an oversaturation.
If you're feeling like you're ready to take on the fight against anxiety, but you're not sure where to start, I'm glad you're here. Hi, I'm Steve Sunshine, and welcome to Overcoming Anxiety, a 5-part podcast from Purposely. My guest for the series is Dr. Greg Jantz, founder of The Center, A Place of Hope, and author of The Anxiety Reset. In this episode, we're going to talk about how to get started on your personal anxiety reset plan. Here's my conversation with Dr. Jantz. So one of the things that you've said in an earlier episode about fighting anxiety is to have a plan of some kind. To be intentional about this. What kind of plan are we talking about?
Well, we're going to talk about the plan. Okay, what am I going to do for my spiritual renewal? Could it be something as simple as I'm going to write down 3 verses? And maybe one of them is maybe like 2 Timothy 2:1-9 about God has not given me a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. I'm going to write that down on a 3x5 card. I'm going to say that out loud 4 or 5 times today. I'm going to go outside and go for a walk and look at that verse. Begin to meditate on God's word that begins to transform our thinking. Okay, so that's just one little thing to do that can be a big thing as it relates to our spiritual health. As you begin to be empowered, and I think there's a prayer for discernment or wisdom. Lord, show me what's missing. What do I need to know or to focus on in order to have real healing here? I've mentioned have 3 key people that are a part of your prayer team and support team that really know you, that you can share honestly with. We all can benefit from that.
How do you find those 3 people? How do you choose them?
Yeah, they're probably not family members. Okay. Here, family sometimes thinks they know us the best, and they're
willing to tell us
that. Not. Yeah, but have somebody probably a little bit older, and maybe somebody equal age, and it's okay to have somebody younger, but have somebody who's been down the road a little farther that you respect for. You can say that's a wise person, and I can really be honest with them, and I know they pray, so. But we could, and sometimes we need to pray, Lord, show me, who are my 3 people?
Do the 3 people have the same role, or are you looking for distinct types of people between them?
Oh, I think they can have the same role. They're going to maybe come at things a little bit differently. Generally, if you're a guy, I want you to work with older men. It's just have people that are on your team that sincerely believe in you.
That sounds wonderful, actually, to put people like that together. We've had people, groups of people put together, not for that sort of ongoing thing, but when we've been trying to make a major decision in our lives, and that has, when it's worked well, that's been really, really helpful. So I think getting input from people is a really good idea. When you've got your personal reset plan in place, you're executing it, you think you're doing a pretty good job. What's reasonable to expect in terms of results or changes?
Tell yourself, I'm going to do this for the next 30 days and keep a log. Now, will everything totally change in 30 days? I don't know. Probably not. But you're building a foundation that's going to take you past that. I want you past that 3-month mark, that 90 days. When you continue and you have more and more strength, and maybe it's I need some professional intervention. I need to know as well what's going on my body, my blood work, and medically. So I need some time to really look at the whole person. But commit to. That's why I said I have a 12-week plan. Commit to a period of at least 12 weeks. And if you're not able to do that, I think it's really a sign that goes, okay, I need to get some outside support and help, and don't try to do it all alone. We probably don't grow very well in isolation.
When you mentioned maybe time to get some professional help, how do you, and I know obviously if you're in the Seattle area, the Center Place for Hope is a great place to go. Because this is a podcast, we may have people listening from pretty much anywhere.
Sure.
So what do you look for in choosing somebody to do that? Because you're kind of handing the keys over to your whole psyche there. So it's a big deal, I think.
It is a big deal. And I always suggest, right now, getting help and resources can be a challenge. I just want to say that. Okay. We make a lot of referrals, and people call in from all over the country looking for help, and we have a quite an extensive referral list. What we're noticing is that a lot of the really good helpers are full, and that's discouraging. Don't give up. If you have to temporarily be on a waiting list, do it. And pray God's going to direct you to the person that can be of the most help. Now, I always say interview two different. If it's a counselor, interview two different ones. Also, make sure that you're really sharing the same values and faith. And it's okay. Ask a person, how do you approach somebody like myself who has been struggling with, let's say, anxiety for a long time? Ask the questions, but please, if you start with somebody, give them at least, I usually say 3 sessions together. Don't walk out on the first one and go, that didn't work. Which is easy. Yes. It can be easy to do. You got to give it some time.
Well, I could see that, because for some people, this is a very vulnerable situation, and you'd be screwing up your courage just to go to that first appointment. And then, if it continued to be uncomfortable, or you just didn't notice anything, I could see that being very discouraging. But you got to know that it takes longer than that. It's not a quick fix necessarily. Absolutely. In your book, The Anxiety Reset, you talk, among other things, about filters in our lives, because we have all kinds of stuff coming at us from every angle, between our smartphones and television and smart speakers and everything. So how do you put, what kind of filters do you recommend?
Well, a filter could be something as simple as, what's my guardrails in my life that keeps me heading down the road without going off on a rabbit trail? Okay, what's that look like? Well, I'll give you an example of what I'm seeing with some folks. Right now, there is such a distrust of information in the media, and I don't know who to believe. And so I see people spend so much time researching, overanalyzing, digging and digging and digging, that kind of consumes their life. And the joy is gone. And then I'm afraid, and it's affecting my sleep. So here's my word. I don't mind it. Obviously, we all want to dig in and learn as much as we can. But if we're oversaturated with news and information, we may have lost the whole piece about worshiping and thanking God, and really see. It's easy to go, I don't see God at work, so we're focusing on the negative. So watch for that, an oversaturation. I have seen people who have come to us, and most of the day they were walking around with this podcast going, that podcast going. Now, I'm not against podcasts. We're doing it right now.
Especially not this one.
Yeah. But, or they're fixated on something that spun out of the pandemic or spun out of COVID. And I understand. I'm a doctor, and I have to dig and research for information, and we want to know what is true. I get that. But we can't be oversaturated. We can't let it control our lives, and we cannot let it affect our relationships. I have had people who've told me, a little bit frightening, but where they felt like, okay, no, the rapture's coming, and I'm on my way out of here. Nothing else matters. Okay, that's the point that the fear took them.
Wow, and it seems to have caused us to not do a very good job of assuming the best of other people in terms of their motives, because the level of arguing has just gotten to be so intense. And I imagine that causes more anxiety.
Oh, yes. So look for division, ongoing friction. Have you developed a critical spirit of judgment? There's a lot of people who are very, very critical of others right now, very judgmental. And we forgot the piece about love one another. Okay?
Yeah.
And the fear will take you down a road you don't want to go.
A big thank you to Dr. Greg Jantz of the Center, A Place of Hope, for being our guest on this series. You know, watching someone you love struggling with anxiety can be as hard as going through it yourself. On our next episode, we're going to talk about how you can help loved ones who are struggling with anxiety. Meanwhile, be sure to follow this podcast and get the next episode of Overcoming Anxiety. Thank you for tuning in, and don't forget to share this podcast with a friend. This podcast is part of Purposely, a podcast network designed with practical podcasts to help you find and live in God's purpose for your life. Find more amazing podcasts just like this at onpurposely.com.